To this day I hope she's either out there suffering the torments of the damned, or just dead. Men, what made you leave the relationship? Got cheated on. She never took ownership, nor never apologized. She never expressed remorse about it. She never said a bad word about the supposedly married dude she cheated with. Well, I filed for divorce with my wife after 23 years because I realized she had never respected me, and mine had slowly been eroded over years of disrespect and shady behavior. I don't know if I'll ever find another woman to love me, but I'd rather be alone than tied to someone who doesn't. Married 8 years, together 12, no kids. Found out she cheated year 3 of marriage. Forgave her, dumbass me. 5 years later, I see a text message on her phone from my male friend that said, "We're soul mates." At that moment I decided on my exit plan. I still remember that week. I had it all planned out to travel cross-country on a Thursday, would take me about 8 days to move back with my fam. On Monday prior, she in a joking way asked, "Are you leaving me?" I told her, "You got 72 hours to close up shop in this marriage." Took me an extra day, left on Friday. Found out later, the two affairs were just the tip of the iceberg. Glad I bailed. It was a cascade of things honestly. What took the cake was when she started to treat people in customer service badly for no reason. She was becoming less and less human, I just didn't want anything to do with it anymore. She gave me an ultimatum, and it didn't work in her favor as she thought it was. I'm a lot happier person now. I haven't raised my voice at someone since I divorced in 2014. We were living together for 5 years, during which time I focused on my career. With every new job and promotion I got, my financial contributions to our apartment, in her name, would increase while hers decreased. I'd brought it up to her multiple times over the years, but it was one of those situations where, after a long and difficult conversation about things that made us unhappy in the relationship, we'd make improvements and change our respective behaviors, but within a month or two we'd both go back to our old habits. This conversation would happen at least once a year or so. Eventually I end up at a horrible job I hated that paid me extravagantly well, but due to circumstances at the time, I couldn't do much with it. She wanted me to get a car for us both, but I didn't feel comfortable with it, no matter how she tried to approach the subject. It was still my money, so I got to decide what to do with it, and I was entitled to that respect. The job I hated ended up fucking with my pay a lot, and I couldn't see a way out for myself in terms of looking for another job because I was working 60-plus-hour weeks. She and I were working opposite shifts and only saw each other for a couple hours on weekends and maybe Monday nights, at the most. I still loved her, but I couldn't see her. I was so depressed and love-starved that the only thing I wanted to help me feel something, and possibly inspire some hope, and remind myself why I was doing it all, was intimacy with her. But she always had an excuse of "I don't want you to be tired before work," or "I'm tired with low iron in my blood," or "I have too much homework today." Told her we could at least try scheduling sex with each other so we at least weren't stressed out on that front, but she always rejected that idea because it was forced. The above was my life, every day, for about 6 to 12 months. One day I looked at my bank account and it just clicked, and it was the saddest realization I can remember having. I literally couldn't afford to be there, it was bankrupting me. To this day, the day I broke the news to her that I'd be moving out, was the worst thing I'd ever had to do. She begged and pleaded and said we could fix things, and I remember having to psychologically stick to my guns and say, "How many times have we tried? How many times have we had this conversation? How many times have we backslid into our respective habits?" It physically hurt me to say those words to her as we stared into each other's teared-up eyes. No, it wouldn't have worked out, because she was a pretty toxic and cold person that was financially abusing me to set up her own future, and I didn't come to terms with that until years after. Some extremely good people I now call family were the ones that helped, truly, and I'm grateful they were there to help pick up the pieces of my fractured self. That day scarred me for life. I'm a lot better now emotionally, but goddamn did that hurt. She told me to do it. She had started this breakup-makeup cycle about 2 years into the relationship. After the third time I directly told her if she broke up with me again I was done, never doing it again. A week later she did it, so I just walked away. Straight to the phone store, separated our bill. Blocked her number. On the way out applied for a new job at a store in the same plaza. Seriously, got hired on the spot. Went straight from there to my old job and quit. About a year later met the woman who became my wife at that new job. Things work out funny sometimes. She was gross, and one of the worst mistakes I ever made, mainly due to having an uncertain living situation at the time. I can honestly say that I was more or less coerced into a relationship, and had I turned her down, she would have easily found another roommate. Her name was already on the lease, etc. And she was a disgusting fat pig who drank too much, who seemed to almost deliberately try to sabotage me in my last 2 semesters of college, and even went so far as to try and take a literal shit on some of my musical equipment during one of her benders. She missed, thankfully, but it is still me that had to clean up her fucking mess. The second I was able to get out of that situation, I ghosted her hard and never contacted her since. Was easy since I moved states for a job. To this day I hope she's either out there suffering the torments of the damned, or just dead. Fuck that cunt. She wanted me to get circumcised so I'd be more like Jesus. She was so hot and cold I couldn't take it anymore. She went from, I'm not ready for a relationship, 1 week to, I miss you, the next week. She'd go days, sometimes weeks without texting me back. I waited longer than I should have, 6 months, but your first relationship will do that to you. Don't wait around for someone who isn't sure about you, people. After 5 years together they just couldn't kick their pill addiction and it was destroying me financially/mentally. A few years after I left them I got a message from their little sister letting me know that they had passed away, found out later on it was from an overdose. We were expecting a child. 9 weeks in she changed her mind and had it terminated against my wishes. Would have been my first child, ruined me. Have refused to date since. Dodged a bullet. After gradual and discreet mental abuse over the course of years I finally realized what was happening after she tried to force me to propose. I ended up moving halfway across the country and she ended up following me. Long story short, I've moved again and so far no contact. She put my gun to her head one night in a manic episode and I couldn't get past it. Saw it every time things got good. She punched me, busted my lip, and then told me I punched myself. I love her with all my heart. When we are just vibing and enjoying one another's company I feel deeply loved, safe, warm, things are good. She's not there for me when I need her. It's been 6 years, and life hasn't been great lately with the pandemic and all, but also it's been as easy as it's ever gonna be. Our parents are getting old. Our grandparents are dying. Money isn't as much as we want but we have some. We don't have kids. When the shit hits the fan, I want someone next to me that I can count on. Also, when things are bad, they bad, and she doesn't apologize. I do. I just think it's good to recognize someone else's experience of pain and try to make amends for playing into it. Even if it was not my intention to hurt them. I can believe that you misunderstood me, and you can even agree that you misunderstood me, but I still want you to know that I have compassion for you as a person who I love and who has been hurt by my actions. The lack of apology really just feels like a petty, fuck you. It's like some weird power game shit. You don't get to ask someone to be vulnerable with you and then refuse to even be the kind of vulnerable that you learn in grade school. I was done fighting. It'd always be my fault according to her. Zero accountability and communication from her end. Even though promises were made and not kept. I suspect she cheated on me as well, little things just didn't add up. Convos she claimed happened never did, and quite frankly she wasn't the person who I fell in love with. She started acting ghetto and trash-talking strangers constantly. We'd be having a conversation and she'd roll her eyes at me if she didn't agree. Stopped wanting to go do stuff for numerous excuses. Little things. 7 years and I never met part of her friend group. So when stuck between waiting 3 to 4 more years long distance, went away to college, or moving on with my life, I made my choice. Don't regret it, despite my current issues dating, still learning since it's been a while, haha. I have a good career, enough money I can live a little, worked on my mental health, and live for myself. One day I'll learn how to flirt though, lol. I woke up one morning and realized I had completely given up my personality, my morals, and my passions all for her. I allowed myself to be used as a punching bag, I gave up every one of my hobbies, I almost lost my family and a good number of my friends, and I allowed her to say horrible things about myself and other people without fighting back. I was seriously contemplating taking my car out and driving off a cliff in the middle of the night. That last point hasn't left me alone yet, but at least my friends, family, and passions are back to what they used to be. Thank you for listening to Anonymous Commentaries. Leave a like or comment what your favorite story was. Or don't do any of that and be a cunt instead.